The following podcast contains naughty language and ridiculous situations. Listener discretion is advised.
You know, the year of the animal apparently is what 2023 is going to be all about because, man, we're coming out with a slew of different killer animal movies, regardless of whether they're on Coke or not. And the list just keeps on coming. And in fact, Lucas Rinker, who directed the film, holy shit, apparently a very disgusting horror film that I have yet to see, but just hearing that makes me want to see it, is going to be coming out with another movie called Paws, and it is all about a killer polar bear. This should be interesting. I believe it's going to be Austrian-based, and it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to seeing that. But you know what? There are other animals out there that should get the treatment of killer rather than just bears. Bears and sharks, that's all we seem to be getting nowadays. So I'm thinking, how about these? Aardvarks, kiwis, manta rays, camels, alpacas, salamanders, barn owls, zebras, bottom feeders, albino rhinoceroses, raccoons, Dalmatians, rhesus monkeys, rhesus peanut butter monkeys, earthworms, giraffes, three-toed sloths, pufferfish, and guinea fowl. I would really like to see horror movies come out with these animals because, after all, bears and sharks are starting to become a little passé, but I'm still looking forward to seeing Paws. Hopefully it'll be coming out later this year. And welcome to Trick or Treat Radio.
Welcome to episode 558 of Trick or Treat Radio. Trick or Treat Radio is the world's most dangerous podcast and is recorded in front of an undead studio audience here at Castle Wolfenstein, also at the Lair of Lost Swag within the Raven Chateau, and in Casa de Zero. We are a triumvirate, a trifecta, a trio. Whatever other three words you got some others there, Michael Ravenchatter? You got some other three words for us?
Menage a trois.
No.
Why?
I don't think that's a good one.
A triad.
You want us to be a menage a trois?
I mean,
Your silence speaks volumes.
All right,
That's horrifying.
Well, who's going to be the lucky recipient of getting Raven Shadow's hairy ass in their face? It ain't going to be me.
you won.
I'm the producer. I get to pick in this human centipede.
In the Triad Dojo. And that was a good intro, MZ, but I feel that as Trick or Treat Radio's Italian correspondent, what's a guinea paw?
Guinea fowl.
Oh, what's a guinea fowl? Is that?
Guinea fowl is a really kind of warped looking bird with a humongous body and and like the head the size of an egg.
Did you think he was making fun of Italian people?
I think so. I think that was a little bit. I don't know. Italians and birds don't really go hand in hand.
You don't think there's any Italian birds?
I don't think there are any Italian birds.
Okay.
There, I don't know, but I think calling it Guinea, it's like a fucking walk.
There is a place called New Guinea, right?
Yeah, with no Italians.
No, there's no.
Imagine that.
Well, to be fair, there's nothing new about the Guineas, I'll tell you that.
That sounds like paradise.
Wow. Jesus Christ.
We're the New Guineas. Like, oh.
Not the New Guineas, but the old Guineas.
The old Guineas.
That's weird.
Shit. That is weird.
Yeah. Look, put it in your Google machine and take a look.
He doesn't
You'll
know what
see.
that is.
Guinea fowl.
Guinea.
Well, you could spell guinea. I know that.
I know.
I'm not so sure.
FOWL.
He can say it. I don't know if he can spell it.
Yeah.
Still, it's offensive to the Italian people. Guinea fowl.
Foul. Yes.
And
FOWL.
we're not talking about like a foul ball either here, Raven Shadow.
Yes.
Yeah, no, the gift of fly. That's why I say I don't like birds
Why? What do you got against birds?
because they poop on you.
Why? Have they ever pooped on you?
I'm not. I don't know.
Do you know
but-
anyone that they've pooped on?
Yeah, no.
One-
That's
For
One
me
pooped on
to
me.
poop on.
yeah. They should be.
One pooped on me once.
Well, I mean, that's not surprising.
Landed right on my goddamn arm.
Says Mr. Spider Bite / Mr. Caterpillar fucking poison bite.
Forget it. It landed like right here on my forearm.
You should have got a tattoo of it.
Yeah, why are you not writing the Kill a Caterpillar script?
Yeah.
Get a caterpillars from outer space.
Killer caterpillars?
Kill a cowl. Yeah, get it. I don't know.
Killer
Killer-
Fowler pillars.
Kill
Kid
for
a cat-
capillaries.
Caterpillars. Yeah.
All right, so on tonight's show, we're going to be talking about a film called Smoking Causes Coughing. Now, it's not Raven Shadow's biopic, but instead it is the latest film from director Quentin Dupieux and his absurdist, surrealistic style. And he tackles I guess we can kind of say that it's a tokusatsu film in a way.
In a way.
Yeah.
In a way.
In a way. And yeah, I cannot fucking wait to talk about this movie because I have no clue what everyone is going to say about this. This is like what I think is MZ's favorite type of superhero movie, but I think it's going to be Raven Shadow's least favorite type of superhero movie, but we'll find out. Maybe I'll be somewhere in the middle. I don't know.
Yeah. This is going to be completely bonkers. I don't know. I have no idea what you guys are going to say.
I am going to
Normally, normally
ahead,
I
yeah.
have a good Normally, I have a pretty good idea what Wolfie is going to say. Raven Shadow. After watching this, I have a fairly decent idea what he's going to say. I just don't know how he's going to rate it.
I will.
And as,
Go ahead. Oh, go ahead. Continue.
No. I was all done.
All right. I will say there is one scene in this movie that might be one of the funniest fucking scenes I have seen in a long time. I was literally laughing out fucking loud. I was lolling out loud, and I like hardly ever do that. I hardly ever do that in this movie. Just thinking about this scene is oh man, it's just making me fucking crack up. And I wonder if you guys feel the same way. We'll get to it in a bit though.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll get to the movie in a little while. What else do we have going on besides guinea fowls? Rave Chow, you like that, huh?
I could just say I was marking out for Monster Zero's recent post regarding Hamburger the Motion Picture.
Oh, I didn't see that one yet.
Oh my lord, the dude totally like did a whole like, what were you quoting exactly? Was it the commercial? It wasn't. Was
the theme?
the
It's
commercial?
the theme to Hamburger the Motion Picture. America, you're getting burger hungry.
Burger hungry, which actually realizing, and I was thinking about that a lot in the last 45 minutes. That theme song almost has a very Trey Parker, Matt Stone type level of dialogue. Like, it's downright patriotic. Hamburgers for America.
I find it to be an absolute crime. I really do. I find it to be a crime that this movie has yet to find its way on Blu-ray and DVD.
I forget. This when we can all get together again. This might need to be the watch along because I fucking adore this movie.
Yeah, I was thinking that myself. When I was doing the post on this, I was thinking, yeah, I'll watch along, or or if we can ever get around to doing another not documentary, commentary.
That's what he said, right?
Well, he said a watch.
Watch along. I'm sorry. Yeah. The two different things. Yeah, no man.
Yeah, a commentary, which would be fantastic.
You know what? I don't know that I've seen it. I mean, I know the name and I can recognize it, but I can't think of anything that happened in it. So it's possible I haven't seen it or I don't remember much about it.
You are doing yourself a serious injustice.
Let me take a look. I'm looking at the IMDb. Okay, you know what? I think I did see it because I recognize Lee McCloskey and Dick Butkus from that.
Yeah.
Okay, it's been literally since the 80s though.
Well, it's on YouTube for free. So
okay.
Yeah,
and that's some time ago, and it's on there. So if you ever want to watch it, go right ahead. You'll love it.
That's where I watched it again. I don't know if someone was talking about it on a podcast, maybe. But yeah, it's uncut. It was uncut on YouTube at least 3 or 4 years ago. And what's great?
I have seen this. Yeah. It's just been a very long time. He goes to like a burger school, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, the main character actually is. Here's what I find fascinating about Hamburger the musical. The musical.
We should make that.
Yeah.
That would be fucking awesome. Hamburger the musical. We have some friends who make the songs. But it starred as the lead was actually the first time a heel in an 80s comedy got put in the face role. So it stars the boyfriend of Terry from one of the guys.
Just one of the guys, yeah.
What I thought was the epiphany I had was that if you all watched, just another commentary we should do, but just one of the guys, you had the character of Terry who pretended to be a guy in a different school to get very topical, to get better cred. And then when she goes to the other school, she transfers playing a dude. The main heel in that school is Johnny Lawrence.
Yeah.
So I love the fact that it's sorry, Wolfie, like in its own 80s continuity, almost like Cabin in the Woods, there has to be a classic heel in every, movie. But her boyfriend heel became the face in Hamburger the musical, and the whole gimmick was
musical again.
God damn it! And Hamburger the movie,
Hamburger the stage play,
Hamburger the flamethrower,
Hamburger the hamburger.
Hamburger the food. But I think wherever he's oversexed, it opened up with a classic, shower scene with girls, and then he's in the shower, and the dean feeds him. So basically, he has to go to Hamburger University and not have any sex and graduate, and then he doesn't go to like military school or whatever the fuck the fucking gimmick is.
I recognize Randy Brooks too. Let's see.
Randy.
Her.
Randy Brooks.
She was in TerraVision. What do I recognize her from? Oh, you know what? Knight Rider. Oh no, Knight Rider she was only in one episode. Never mind. Yeah, I'm not sure what I recognize her from.
Was she the blonde?
Yeah.
Yeah, the one with the short hair.
Okay, and which also once again featured in a very progressive way. Instead of a girl going down on a guy in a restaurant, it was a dude going down on a girl in a Chinese restaurant.
Yeah,
and she was blaming the oral on hot flashes because she was dating Dick Butkus.
Good old Dick Butkus.
And I love eating out.
Jesus Christ.
Put those cookies back, motherfucker.
Oh, we have the right to refuse service to assholes like you.
Like you. Yeah.
Essentially, it was like Police Academy goes to a sexed up X-Men university to learn like hamburger skills.
Yeah. Pretty much. Pretty much.
Oh, it's fucking brilliant.
Yeah, it's been
But
a
if
while.
you want to see another Police Academy ripoff, check out the film Night Patrol from
Oh, yeah.
1985. Stars Linda Blair and Murray Langston, aka the Unknown Comic. And
Oh yeah.
There's this unbelievable scene with Pat Morita where he so ridiculous. He plays this rape victim,
Jesus Christ.
but there's like a young girl like dubbing his voice, and the whole thing is just so ridiculous. Oh my god! I mean, of course, you can't see it as being rather PC now, but back then, I mean, Jesus Christ, just hilarity. That movie is so fucking good.
And wasn't the movie the poster art? There was a cop car, I think, with all legs and people partying like.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And and also Kitten Natividad has a small role in it as well. So
Night Patrol. I'm trying. Let me look that one up too because I'm not sure. It's the title's familiar, but
you know the poster, Wolfie.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, yeah. I see the poster.
and
Yeah.
also
I don't think I've seen it
Pat,
though.
Pat Paulson is in it as well. Funny as hell.
Yeah. Okay. Billy Barty,
You've got-
Pat Morita. Oh, you said
Yeah.
Pat Morita. Yeah.
Yeah, Billy Barty is in it. Yeah.
Oh Jesus. Yeah. This fucking. Yeah. I don't think I've seen this. I recognize the poster, and I like can even picture, Linda Blair in her like uniform. So there's a chance I may have seen this, but maybe just the box art kind of deal, you know.
Let me see. I don't know if it's on YouTube. No, I'm checking that out right now. It very well could be. Night Patrol. Here it is. Yep. It's been on there for 10 years.
Jesus.
So,
Well, apparently no one cares or no one knows. I'm
Yeah.
not sure which.
another film that needs the Blu-ray treatment from like Kino or
Yeah.
Criterion.
Speaking of the unknown comic, this is sort of a bit of a diversion, but I didn't watch any of it. But did any of you guys see Andy Kaufman's induction into the WWE Hall of Fame?
No, I forgot about that.
Caught a little bit of it.
Yeah. What do you think?
Well,
Did they
first
do
of all,
okay by him?
Yeah, they did. First of all, let me just say it's about time. Oh shit, I'm gone.
No, we're
Oh,
back.
there.
We're back. Sorry.
Oof. I thought I was in the void. Yeah, they did a good job with him. Lawler sent in a little message because he could, because of his stroke that
Yeah.
he had. And
Wait, what?
he had a stroke a little while ago.
Massive stroke.
Yeah,
He almost bit it.
yeah. And he sounded a little rough. You can hear it in his voice. He sounds a little rough, but he was able to deliver a decent, speech to Kaufman's family. And I think they did a good job with it. I really do. And like I said, it's about time that they did something, because he had a very integral part in wrestling history. And
For sure.
Andy Kaufman, he knew how to sell. He had a great gimmick. He had one of the best gimmicks of that era, or just about of any era. A legit TV star, stand-up comic TV star, who's pushing all the buttons of everybody in Georgia and Alabama and Kentucky and Tennessee and Mississippi, and just pushing everybody's buttons because everybody's rooting on Lawler, and Lawler just absolutely beats the living tar out of him.
It's
Yeah.
fun.
It's so much fun, and especially, oh my God, the promo that Kaufman cuts on Lawler uh, uh, when he has the woman with him, and he's wrestling her, and he pounds her head into the cement, near the pool, and she's like out cold, and his manager Bob Zamuda comes in and goes, Andy, I really think you hurt her. And he's like, I don't care. Who cares? She's poor. She can't sue me. She can't sue me. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. She's ramming her head into the cement. Oh my God. Just brilliant heel work.
Brilliant.
It was so believable.
I know, but it was.
So,
It's just funny to say what, like smashing a woman's head into.
It was awesome.
But I mean, it was, obviously it was, it was a pre-planned promo. It's not like he was abusing women.
It would have been awesome.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Some alternate universe if like Andy Kaufman actually really came out and the whole work was that just for this moment in time. All the things that he faked it. Obviously he did not, and it's a big tragedy. But like, it'd have been cool if the real Andy Kaufman came out, like, blah.
If he showed up.
Yeah.
I'm the king of Memphis, Tennessee.
Yeah, because that was real heat back in the day. That was.
Yeah. People wanted to kill him.
And even like, the King kept the kayfabe in an era where of the air quotes smart mark. This is, they definitely kept it.
He almost, I would say, like almost took it to his grave. Like Lawler has talked about it recently, a little bit. Like they did Tales from the Territories, and they did one whole, like that show is about just telling different stories from the territories, but they took one whole episode for that because that's an hour-long episode in itself. Whereas other ones, they would tell like several stories per episode. But yeah, that was actually one of the best. I didn't see all the episodes, but that was a really good one. And just talking about, Lawler was talking about the whole thing. He really let a lot of info go that he probably hadn't talked about previously. And yeah, it's really good. So people are, fans of that. Definitely track that down.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, the promo which Kaufman shot with the woman, that was at Lawler's house.
That's hilarious.
That was shot at Lawler's house. And also, if you ever get the chance, and I think it might be on Tubi, it was when I saw it, although that was like maybe 4 years ago, but still, it might still be there. Check out My Breakfast with Blassie. It's Andy Kaufman and Classy Freddie Blassie having breakfast together in a restaurant.
Oh. It
is so surreal. Is probably the best way I could describe it. It's very talky. They talk about a lot of things, and there was this, and it's also where Andy met his wife.
Oh.
On that, and it was completely random.
Wasn't that in Man on the Moon?
What
the breakfast with Blassie thing? No. Okay, it's been a while since I've seen the movie.
Yeah, Breakfast with Blassie was completely taken, not put into the film.
Okay,
and they ended, according, with the movie, they say that they met at a wrestling match, which was not the case at all.
Yeah.
See, I've never seen Man on the Moon. Is it good?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I never saw it. No, I never.
Oh, you should totally see it, man.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey's great in it as Andy.
Marion.
Yeah, no, I would absolutely check that out.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
cool.
Definitely. I saw that in the theater, and I was pissing in my pants laughing at Tony Clifton. Tony Clifton was, oh my God.
And I'm so glad that they had. I mean, you couldn't do it. You couldn't do it any other way. Actually, I'm trying to remember. Lawler did play himself in that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
believe
what I
so.
thought. Yeah, because I haven't seen it since the theater either. But I mean, that's the only way to do it. Like, I just couldn't see anyone else playing Lawler. Like.
And Jim Ross is in it.
Yeah, that's right.
Jim Ross.
Yeah.
Great, cool.
Yeah, I would totally check it out. Raven Shadow. It's got and there's some other oh, Paul Giamatti as Bob Zamuda is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Patton Oswalt has a slight role in it. Yeah, it's
Danny
been a while.
DeVito.
Oh yeah.
Danny DeVito is in it, and the whole cast from Taxi is in it, actually.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
even
And yeah, everybody.
Yeah.
And Courtney Love plays his love interest.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was thinking about that. I'm like, so she was not only in is it biopic or biopic?
You could say it either way, but I mean, biopic is the way that I say it. So I don't know. You could ask different people, and they'll say different things. I don't think there's any specific way to say it.
So Courtney Love, she was in People versus Larry Flynn as the girl.
Right.
And she was in Man on the Moon as the girl.
Yep.
Okay.
Let me see. There's a bunch of cameos in that. I'm trying to see who else. I mean, the cast listing is enormous, so it's hard to even see who's who in this. But yeah, I just check it out for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, they did a really good job on it, and directed by Milos Forman.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Who did One Flew Over the Cuckoo's?
Yeah, and speaking of, he actually did People versus Larry Flint as well. Yeah.
That's fucking weird.
And
shit.
Amadeus. Well, he probably cast her in
Oh.
both, because he'd work with her.
Marion's a big Amadeus mark.
Amadeus.
Bambaleo, bambaleo.
What else? And he did Hair, as MZ mentioned, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Beautiful hair.
Yeah.
Long, beautiful hair.
He did Black Peter. Do you ever see that, MZ?
Black Peter. No, I haven't.
Only in that bathroom that one time.
Yeah. So, yeah, we got off. I mean, not that that's not something we do all the time, but we'll get off on a little tangent. But, yeah. So I didn't watch the WWE Hall of Fame, so I just saw like clips of that, and they had his family there, Andy Kaufman's family, and I guess that was his dream. Like they had said, this was his dream to be a wrestler, and he was able to realize his dream, and now he's in the Hall of Fame. So, yeah.
Did he ever have a child? Did he ever have a child? Or was it not?
I think so, because I think his daughter was there.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think his daughter was there accepting it with his parents. So I'm pretty sure.
His parents are still alive?
No, I would doubt that.
Uh,
It would have to be in their hundreds by now.
Well, I'll have to. Let's see. I'll have to double check because I don't know who that was then. Maybe family, like brother or sister or something. Then.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, I'll look it up and see who accepted.
Jeez, and what kills me is that I get bitched out for never seeing Indiana Jones or Raiders of the Lost Ark. But here, Raven Shadow has never seen Man on the Moon. Wolfie, you've never seen Night Patrol. What kind of a world is
These are not on the same level.
Yeah, the movies that I've that I watch that you guys have apparently been missing are so much better.
But to be fair, though, typically on like an Easter weekend, more where that came from, or Thanksgiving, they don't show marathons of Night Patrol and Man on the Moon on TBS. It's usually, here's the Indiana Jones franchise, here's the Star Wars pictures. Like, so even if you didn't seek it out on your own, theoretically, you would be near a television set where it would be on. Right?
Yeah.
No, you're right. You're right.
Like, it's like, oh, Easter's coming, Nana. Have you seen Serbian film? Let's watch this before. Let's sit with the over the hors d'oeuvres. Here's the amuse bouche. Have you seen fucking what's the ass movie?
The ass movie?
Butt
Ass
crack?
in a Line. No, the Ass in a Line movie. The Lines of Asses.
That could be just like any movie.
With all the, it's all the line. It's like a the fuck. The ass movie. Centipede.
The Human Centipede? That's not an
That's
ass
the
movie.
It's not an ass movie.
No.
Ass on the. It's not okay. Is it about love?
Yes.
It's not about ass.
It's
It's about science.
It's about science.
Yeah, well,
And
it kind of
love.
is. Science and
And
love.
It kind of is. Yes.
I feel there's a
It's
lot
not
of that.
an ass movie. It doesn't have anything to do with asses other than they get connected from ass to mouth.
That seems really important, though.
It's the crux of the whole film.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
if you don't have ass to mouth, then you don't have a movie.
You don't have anything.
Well, you might have a good time, but
Jesus. Or a bad time, depending on what someone ate.
I'll pull the head. That's fine.
I'll form the ass.
I don't mean a caboose. That'd be the shitty lion. I'm the brown lion in that Voltron sandwich. That's
Is that going to be like the Voltron thing? Like if we did like a human centipede like superhero movie, instead of creating a Voltron, they'd create a human centipede, and one of them will say, "I'll form the ass."
yeah, but nobody's choosing that. That's a shitty straw. That's a
Literally,
shitty straw.
literally.
Yeah. That's not good.
Yeah,
That's
like
not.
I would think. I mean, what's the worst place in a human centipede?
After
Is it the very end?
I
Because
think
then
it's
you're
sec-
getting everybody's stuff in
yeah,
your mouth,
yeah,
but
I'd
then
wanna-
you don't have anyone attached to your ass, I guess.
yeah, I would want to be at the front of that centipede.
for the first time in my life. Not probably not the first time, but I'm going to quote Talladega Nights right now, and I'm going to say, "If you're not first, you're last." How's that? Ricky
That-
Bobby.
There's no other line that's more apropos when it comes to human centipede than that. Probably
Yeah.
that's probably more true in human centipede than it is in Talladega Nights.
Oh man. It's so horrible.
So that's exciting. So yeah, WrestleMania was 2 nights back to back for the first time. Is it the first time ever? It was
No,
first time.
No.
No, really.
Yeah, no, they've done 2 nights.
Yeah, it's been like 2 nights for like the past 3
Past
years.
couple of years, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the last Mania I watched, I think with Thomas Smythe, was the one where Brock Lesnar had the mystery partner with a child.
Brock Lesnar, the mystery partner with the child.
Then he was like, "Who's Brock Lesnar's partner?" And he pulled like a kid from the crowd, I think.
Oh, that was Braun Strowman.
Oh, Braun Strowman. You're right. I'm sorry, Braun Strowman.
Yeah, how dare you?
Yeah, no. I'm not a big fan of like big guys like that, but Braun Strowman's pretty dope. Like I want to hang with him.
Yeah,
he's even big.
He's kind of a dick, actually.
Oh, in real life, really? He was on a Good Talk as Jericho.
Well, I mean, I don't know if he's a dick, but like he's talked shit about like indie wrestlers and flippy dudes, and he was part of Control Your Narrative. It was this like sort of a promotion that grew out of a bunch of guys that got released from WWE last year, and he helped set it up, but it ended up being like a really almost sort of like right wing sort of like very nationalistic sort of like stuff going on there, and apparently the people who were in charge of it were all into that, so, and he was one of them, so so I don't know. I mean, I don't know the full story. I'm not gonna, talk shit, but I just know he talks shit about like flippy dudes, and he thinks he's the fucking man because he's been wrestling for like 3 years or whatever it is.
His second match was on fucking Monday Night Raw. Like, the dude didn't fucking pay his. He's a big fucking dude boy. Don't get me wrong, but like, what? He had like 2 NXT matches and then it was on Raw. Like
Something like that. He might have been in NXT longer than that, but I don't know. But
Well, he was also one of Adam Rose's Rosebuds.
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Him and that stupid bunny.
So speaking of that, I don't want to spend a lot. What's going on with Bud Light? Because I'm confused.
I only saw like a quick little thing, but apparently they had a I don't want to get it wrong, but it was like an inclusive ad, that included something about like LGBTQ plus, and so now apparently like Kid Rock, your boy,
No.
was wearing a fucking MAGA hat and shooting a gun like at Bud Light or something like that. And so just because they show support for, or they had an ad that showed support for LGBTQ plus people, so now people who are gun lovers and who are against LGBTQ plus now hate Bud Light or something like that.
That's fucking stupid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's and Kid Rock can go fuck himself. I'm fuck that dude. Because I saw the clip where he shot it must have been in his yard, his own lake, and he shot the fucking beer cans. I'm like, dude, you're shooting bullets in your fucking lake. Like, who's gonna pick that up? I don't know. He's a
fuck Kid Rock. Fuck him in the asshole with a big rubber dick.
Yeah. Jeez.
DP, baby, DP.
Oh shit.
Redneck jack off.
Fuck him. That's not good.
He's not even a redneck. The guy's from Detroit, for Christ's sake.
It just changed. It just went all in on a different persona. Took his gimmick. So it's funny. I want to talk about more wrestling because there's a lot of wrestling stuff. There's some
a
baseball.
shitload, yeah.
Yeah. There's some baseball stuff I want to talk about opening day that I found out about. I know people don't like that, but
well, go on another podcast to talk about it. We're here to talk about horror. We're here to talk about comics and wrestling and everything else in between like that.
Wow, I like that MZ threw the comics in there. That's pretty good.
Well, yeah, I got it. It's all inclusive, man. I mean, that's what we're all about. I mean, I might not be a part of it, but I know you guys are.
How about very, very diplomatic, Monster Zero? How about Vince's mustache? Talk about that.
It's terrible. He looks terrible.
It's not good.
No, speaking of, I don't want to go too much further down the wrestling rabbit hole because there is a lot of stuff, but apparently people are saying he might be back in control of creative in WWE now, and they had like people are pissed about WrestleMania, about the outcome, and people are pissed about the Raw after Mania because it was terrible. And now, and then WWE sold to Endeavor, which now they're creating like UFC and WWE are part of the same company now. And yeah, apparently Vince is back and in charge again. So apparently you can be a fucking slimy scumbag and now become a multi-billionaire because now after the sale, he was the one who made out the most. So now he is. I think he cracked the top 1,000 like richest people in the country or the world. I don't know, but yeah, fuck him.
Yeah, fuck. He's probably got what 5 to 10 years left. Fuck it, right? Is that what he's kind of thing? But like the whole like he dyed his hair clearly, and then got that weird, not Roger Waters. Who am I thinking of?
Gomez Adams.
No, I think you're no, yeah, Roger Waters.
Not Roger Waters.
John Waters.
John Waters. Yeah.
John, maybe fucking Pink Flamingos. Yeah, John. He's got a weird job. Like John Waters is probably the only cat that can make like you look fucking good, bro. Like Vince, not so much. Vince looks fucking terrifying.
Yeah, it looks. Yeah, I just fuck that dude. Like I watched WrestleMania because Triple H was in charge of creative, and I watched like the second night. I watched a little bit of the first night, but like I don't know. I just have no interest in watching it now. Plus, I mean, there's a lot of other stuff going on in the wrestling world that makes me more excited. So
Sure, totally. But I think Hunter's like fucking really, bro. Like really. Like fucking what the fuck? Like it's gonna be a weird.
Well, he's probably thinking that maybe if he grew that mustache, that nobody would have recognized him after the scandals that broke out when
yeah.
when Vince left. You know, he became the evil Vince McMahon. You know, all you have to do is just whip a mustache on him. He looks like Gomez Adams now. He needs a gray and black striped suit, chomping on a cigar, or he looks like Wayne Newton, or he just looks silly. He just looks ridiculous. Now we know why he never grew facial hair. It's because he looks like a goddamn mental case.
Yeah. He should just grow why a mustache? Like who wears a mustache now? Like just go for the beard, you know?
Go for the beard.
What?
Either go for a beard or a full, goatee. If you can do that, but you can't just have just the mustache.
No, you can have just a mustache, but look at the mustache. It's like half.
Right.
It's like a full mustache. It's like pencil thin mustache. It's like, what is he thinking?
I don't know. He's not apparently.
What the hell is he thinking?
All right. Well, let's move on from that. I'm trying to there's a lot of other shit to talk about, but I mean, we got to get into this movie. So it's just the way it goes. We're not going to be able to talk about everything. So let's start to wrap this up, and let's talk about the ways you can support the show. And there are a few ways right off the top here. First, you can go to Patreon, patreon.trickortreatradio.com, and you can go ahead and support us through Patreon. Every month we put out a Patreon exclusive episode, and it only gets released on a Patreon, and we have no plans to release it otherwise. So that's your way to hear those episodes, and we typically do about an hour kind of focused conversation about different topics. So give that a look. They end up turning out like, I think decent. We do some cool stuff on there, some different stuff. And that's all for Patreon, folks. So give that a look, and you can get in for as little as $2 a month. And then it goes up from there. So we have a bunch of other perks, including you could host your own Patreon takeover, and you get to pick the movies that we talk about, and you get to join us if you want. So give those a look. Patreon.trickortreatradio.com. You can join for as little as $2. The other way, on trickortreatradio.com, you scroll down the front page, you're going to see an Amazon logo. You're going to click on it. It's going to bring you to Amazon. It's going to input our affiliate link, and everything you purchase in that session will get attributed to us. It doesn't cost them any extra, Michael Ravenshadow.
Well, it's another way to help keep the lights on.
So go ahead and use that link. And then finally, on trickortreatradio.com, click on store. It's going to bring you to our digital storefront. We have the greatest hits of Trick or Treat Radio, volumes 1 through 3. And you can hear the highlights, the lowlights, the midlights, the songs, the interviews, the arguments, all that bullshit. You can hear it on there. It's like the first 6 or 7 years or so. Just a nice little sampler. Go to Denny's. You want to get a sampler with some, what are those, seasoned fries, mozzie watsy sticks, Raven Shadow. What else?
Some onion rings.
Yeah, there you go. So you can go ahead and check that out and help support us because, we appreciate it. The show is not cheap to do, and we have a lot of software that we use for the live show and, for everything else that we do for the weekly show and uploading it to all podcast platforms, web hosting, subscription services, blah, 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 blah. All right, let me check in the chat room, actually, before we wrap up. Corny is hanging out. He says, I like Amadeus too. Oh, I didn't know they made a sequel.
Wow.
No, just kidding. He said TOO too. Creepy Girl says, just got here. Hey ho, what did I miss? Did you guys see WrestleMania? Yeah, we talked about it a little bit. Go ahead, Raven Channel.
No, I was popping for Creepy Girl.
Oh, okay. Evil Corny says Bud Light supporting trans TikToker Dylan Mulvaney is why they're having a shit fit. All right. He posted a link. Bud Light stands by Dylan Mulvaney after conservative backlash. So yeah, I'm not familiar with who that is, but I did hear about the backlash. So fuck those pieces of shit. That's all I got to say.
Fuck them.
All right, Raven Shadow. So you sit down and watch a movie called Smoking Causes Coughing. I mean, is this Raven Shadow's biopic? Is this a cautionary tale? I don't know. What do you do to prepare for this movie, Raven Shadow?
Well, I get excited, Johnny, because I'm not a religious man. It's just what I'm not into, But I do get excited for Easter coming up, and I like that it's one of the few pagan holidays that still, to my understanding, keeps its original name. I believe that Easter was originally Yoster, and that was the pagan holiday that was all about getting down, baby. That's where the fucking bunnies come in. It's all about, you know what I mean, like getting your. It rhymes with tuck on, you know what I'm saying? So like, I like that aspect, and then it obviously got evolved over the years. But I like that kind of like partying up, doing your thing. So I think when this Sunday comes, love the one you're with, or you know what, it's okay to do a solo. Just have a good time. Get some ham if you can, or vegan ham, and strap on.
You go through your week with the same old routine.
What you really want is some blood and thunder in your life.
Well, friend, you found it.
The Cromcast is an adventurous journey through the history of two-fisted pulp stories.
With your hosts, John,
Josh,
and Luke.
We have action,
horror,
and adventure, all through the lens of pulp luminary Robert E. Howard.
Don't just stay in your ordinary life.
Find your pulp life at thecromcast.blogspot.com.
The Cromcast.
The Cromcast.
The Cromcast.
A podcast for the barbarian at heart.
I'm Mike Allred. For the gidgiest listening experience, you got to check out Trick or Treat Radio.
The following message is a paid advertisement for the Cult of Muscle podcast. The Cult of Muscle. You're either in it or you're dead.
It's the dawning of a new age. The halls of Valhalla have been shuttered. The heroes of yore have either retreated to the shadows or taken to capering for the amusement of the small folk. Their past glory is a distant memory. The barbells have been torn from their once puma-strong grips. The beards shorn from their square jaws, only to be transplanted onto flannel-clad, puny weaklings with fingers barely powerful enough to strum a ukulele. The time has come, my brothers, to restore order from the chaos. No longer will our heroes be forgotten. No longer will their great deeds be viewed through a foggy lens of irony. Hear now our rallying cry as we scream it from the mountaintops, as we bellow it from iTunes and Libsyn and Facebook. It's time to join the cult, my brothers. So don your cloaks and enter the Cult of Muscle.
I could be standing outside a woman's prison in a fistful of 50s and a bouquet of dildos, and no woman would come near me.
Did you say a bouquet of dildos?
And we are back on Trick or Treat
Yes.
Radio.
Thank God. Jeez.
Yeah, you know.
Yep. It was a podcast graveyard for a few seconds there.
I got to make these breaks longer. So we're going to talk about a movie. So we should get into that. And the name of the movie is Smoking Causes Coughing. Let's pull up the details here. All right. This film is 77 minutes. How about that?
Yes.
77-minute runtime. It is it's listed as a comedy, horror, sci-fi. I guess that kind of makes sense because there is some elements of horror in this.
Yep.
And it is written and directed by Quentin Dupieux. And the film stars, oh man, my French is not very good. Gilly Lelouch, Vincent Lacoste, Anais. What? How would you say Vincent Lacoste? Let me hear you say that one.
All right, hold on. I'm French Canadian, so
so you're the authority. Okay, go ahead.
I am the authority. Let me just boot it up here.
Boot it up. Booting up shit.
Yeah. Boot you in the ass if you don't shut the hell up.
You've let him in.
Nobody wants to be that.
All right.
All right, everyone. Here is the French Canadian authority to pronounce these names.
Je crois facile. Mais quoi t'as ton potaquel? À toi.
He's not even saying anything. Oh, papitaba. What a bunch of bullshit.
Push the mid.
So?
No. I'm trying to wait. Let me get the. I'm trying to get the names bigger. My eyes. I can't.
My eyes. 51-year-old eyes.
Lelouch, Vincent Lacoste, Anais Demoster.
I think it's Dumoustier.
De Moustier, yes.
Jesus Christ. Listen to this fucking guy. I'm the authority. I'm the
John-
French-Canadian authority here.
Jean Pascal Zadi. Ulana. Shut up, you. You know what? You're going to continue laughing at me. I'm not going to do it anymore.
Yeah, because you can't.
Voulez-vous
Yeah.
Voulez-vous faire ce soir? Ce soir?
Oh, shit.
Oui.
So, you know, instead of using the actors' names, we'll call them by their characters: benzene, methanol, nicotine, mercury, and ammonia.
I think these were Raven Shadow's names when he was giving birth, and they decided on something different.
Michael Mercury was almost one of them. Michael Nicotine, it was a little bit too on the nose, I think.
Yeah.
Michael Nicotine Shadow would be pretty fucking good.
Marion posted, "Hey guys, just got home."
And Alan Shabbat.
Hey, baby.
And let's see, we got Angry Townsman hanging out. And Marion says, "MZ, I like the Afghan blanket on your chair."
Well, thank you.
Someone saw his Nana.
All right, so smoking causes coughing. The synopsis on this one really, I guess, kind of tells the tale, but a group of vigilantes called the Tobacco Force is falling apart. To rebuild team spirit, their leader suggests that they meet for a week-long retreat before returning to save the world.
What the hell is he laughing at?
Tobacco Force. And I love that they were fucking vehemently against smoking.
Yeah.
Like, that scene alone.
Is
They
that
told the
scene you're
kid.
talking
No,
Wow.
that's not even the scene. But them telling the kid to, like, not to smoke. And he's like, "But you're called Tobacco Force." All right.
We use the power of cancer against our enemy.
I can't. Oh, okay. So, all right. This is from director Quentin Dupieux, as I mentioned, and Dupieux has directed quite a few interesting films. He has done Rubber, is probably the one he's most known for, and 2010 serial killing tire movie. It's good. It's I saw it like, you know, around 2011 maybe, and it is definitely out there. If you've never seen a Quentin Dupieux film, that one's definitely out there.
Worth a watch.
But definitely worth a watch for sure.
Flag on the play.
What's up?
Flag on the play. Can you be a director and be named Quentin if your last name isn't Tarantino?
Of course.
Come on.
Are you kidding me, dude?
That bugs
Come
me.
on.
That bugs you.
That bugs you. That this dude, that his parents named him Quentin probably before Quentin Tarantino even directed a fucking movie, and he can't use that name.
Did they see True Romance?
No.
What does that have to do with anything?
I'm just, maybe it's me. I'm on an island. Fine. That's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Well, yeah. That's the first thing you said right. It is just you.
Okay, fine.
So somebody famous who does something and makes a name for themselves, now no one else can use that first name. Is that what you're saying?
No, I didn't say that, but they think that's
A very Vince McMahon of you.
oh, pal, want to own
Yeah,
your name.
can anyone else have the name Vince?
No, pal, I trademarked that. Pal.
What about Kid Rock? Can anyone have the first name Kid?
No, pal, nobody wants that name.
What else?
No,
What other names?
All right, no, fine. Be Quentin Taryn Dubois. Okay, fine. No, he's a okay. All right.
God
All right.
damn it. Quentin
Take it back.
Depew. Let's see. He was born in 1974.
All right,
Okay.
so Tarantino was first.
He was first?
Yeah, Tarantino was not born in 74.
Right, but no one fucking knew who Quentin Tarantino was in 1974 when this dude was born.
Well,
are they supposed to like talk to fucking Miss Cleo and say, is there anyone going to be famous with the first name of Quentin?
I'm just saying that.
See, this is the kind of sidetracking shit that we end up falling ourselves into.
MZ, I can't leave that alone.
This is a complete non-topic brought on by a guy who insert your own story here. Real. Just
we should all just tell our own. We should all go on a retreat and tell scary stories. I think that's what needs to happen here.
And to be fair, non-topic will be a very unpopular store in the Auburn Mall. All right, fine. All right, no, fine. No, I big ups to the French. He's French, so it's different.
God damn it. So Quentin Tarantino was born in 1963. He was 11 years old when Quentin Depew was born. His parents were supposed to know that there is somebody named Quentin Tarantino who is going to become a famous film director. Therefore, we cannot name our child Quentin because he wants to be a film director as well.
I just think it's like Highlander. There can be only one.
Unbelievable.
All right, fine. I said my piece, and I'm good. I'm ready to move on. He made Tire. Oh, Rubber. I'm sorry. Tire was somebody else. That was Quentin Jones.
Is that like Quincy Jones, but different?
Quincy Jones. Quentin Tarantino Jones.
All right. Enough with this Quentin business.
All right.
Okay.
Maybe the multiverse of Quentin.
You know what? Your name, you have to change your first name because Michael Jordan is the most famous basketball player of all time. Therefore, I don't think you can use that name anymore.
That's true because that's how I get my pizza to deliver to my correct location because they get confused by my address. So I'm like, yeah, like Michael Jordan, Michael Ravitch. I'm like, oh yeah, okay. No, that's fine. That's fine. No, I'm just saying that it's a very what do you call it? What do you call it? Specific name. Specific.
Anyways, Evil Corey says, MZ, your job left much to be desired when you were black for a week. Your French Canadian is bad too. Yeah. You're not a very good black person, and you're not a very good French Canadian.
Hey, that's not a very good way to talk about me.
No, it's a very perfectly apropos way to talk about you. Angry Townsman says Rubber didn't do it for me. Yeah, it's definitely not everyone's.
Yeah,
it's not going to be for everyone. That's for sure.
It's a desired taste.
Evil Corny says no one else can be Cornelius, aka Evil Corny. I have spoken.
One of the things about Rubber though is that it has David Bowie in it, not David Bowie the singer, but David Bowie the actor, and David Bowie was Weird Al Yankovic's partner in UHF.
Wait. Now.
Oh yeah! Holy shit! I didn't know that. Why didn't I even remember his name?
Oh, the guy with the kind of skullet.
Yeah. In UHF.
His name is fucking David Bowie.
Well, it's not spelled the same way. It's Bowe.
Wow.
It's yeah. It looks like Bo.
It's pronounced Bowie though.
Yeah. I'd forgotten that he had the same name.
Yeah, you can't be. You that's when you got to throw like a serial killer or assassin thing and use your middle name.
Now Raven Shadow, does he have the right to have that name David Bowie, even though David Bowie, the singer, had that name first?
Exhibit A is Michael B. Jordan. That's a fucking gentleman. He's Michael B. Jordan. You know what I'm saying?
And you're Michael come lately, all right?
I'll
Michael. Not at all.
Or not at all.
Come in whenever I can.
Right, Marion?
Oh Jesus! let's not even get into that. But I liked I that does make me think though of something Ray Shadow put in our chat about this movie. He said, "Watch past the credits, not major, but a bit extra, very brief." And then I asked if that was like your sexcapades, which you just put a heart next to, so I am guessing it is. Not major, but a bit extra, very brief. All right. Well, let's jump into this movie because I feel like we could literally talk about this movie for the runtime or more than the runtime of the movie. All right. So we have Tobacco Force. That's the name of the fucking team. I can't even. Like, it's so fucking ridiculous. Tobacco Force. Raven Shadow, like, what if they recruited you to be part of Tobacco Force?
Oh, dude, I'd be like that X-Men one-shot cartoon called Pride of the X-Men. I would be super psyched to join. I'd be like, yeah, boy, I'd be all in on joining that team.
Yes, but they denounce smoking.
Right. You probably can't smoke if you're part of the team.
Yeah. So I would have to look at the mission statement. But well, I mean, as the movie progresses, there are some scenes. Just saying. But right, it's listen, smoking isn't a good thing, but I like how they, instead of like the wave motion gun or what was Voltron's sword, the blazing sword, and a lot of anime would always have that one big weapon, to defeat the Ro Beast or whatever you want to call it. But I like how when the team harnesses their various cheese, if you will, not cheese, but like chi, like Iron Fist, they give their opponent cancer. And that's a very powerful weapon.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the cancer that I'm familiar doesn't really cause turtles to explode, but did in this one.
Well, if you had like a beam of cancer shot into you, it might, right?
Yeah.
So I mean that's a little different. I think cancer kills you from the inside out. This is kind of like from the outside in a way.
It's more like concentrated cancer. Like if it was like yeah. It's a good gimmick. I like the old timer, the Cyclops of the team. I liked the team. The team was good.
I like the team too. I liked how they're all kind of like in the same rank, but you got like you got like the older, probably more experienced member of the group.
Right.
Then you got like 4 underlings. I guess I mean, if you want to call them that. But they all have like the same rank. No one pulls rank on each other, and you got. So, like I said, you got the older guy, and then you got a bunch of like maybe 3 20-somethings, and then you got one guy who's like maybe in his mid to late 30s. But they don't run by rank, and they also have their robot friend with them, which I forget the name of him. Damn it!
Well, there was a Norbert. It was Norbert 2000, I think, and then we got like Norbert 1200 or something. Yeah. So but it was Norbert. Yeah.
Norbert. Yeah. And but let's go to the opening scene, because that opening scene, I roared with laughter.
Which one? Like with the family or the fight?
The fight, but immediately post-fight, post-death sequence. I was slapping my knee. I was laughing so hard. I was slapping my knee. I was laughing so hard because they do they realize they can't beat this thing alone, the tortoise.
Right. And it's a full like
fantastic
rubber suit, man in a rubber suit style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good too. It's really, really good. Very, very super inframan, Mighty Morphin Power Ranger style type of character. And they combine their power. They realize they can't beat him on their own individually. So they combine their powers, in which all this smoke like emits from their fists or whatever, and they're like this, and then you get one hell. I don't want to give it away too much. I mean, I guess maybe I could. I don't know, but the end result of what they did was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. Because it's not only because of what they were up against, but how just how it was filmed and how it was edited together. Blood was everywhere. Even and especially the part that I roared at the most. The part that I roared at the most was the mother still sitting in the car.
Yeah. They were like hundreds of feet away, right? He needed binoculars to see them. So much. It just kept going.
Is that the scene you're talking about too?
No, I'm not even talking about that one. That one was fucking funny, but
I mean, because she's just drenched in blood and intestines, giant intestines, just hitting her in the face, dead in the face.
Yeah.
Funny as hell. I was dying from that. Oh, so funny. God damn it.
It's so like gratuitous and like over the top, but it is like just the right amount. And that's why I call his like style is like, it's like French absurdist cinema. There is a very large element of like absurdity to his films, and a lot of times they don't have a straightforward plot. It's not, like we start here, we go here, we go here, we end up here. It's set up the scenario, and then things happen inside of that scenario, and then there's maybe like a loose way to tie it all up. At least the films that I've seen. I haven't seen all of his films, but it's very absurd. It's very outrageous.
Yeah.
And it's definitely not the kind of thing that everyone's going to be into. But when they do this sort of like inframan, like, the Tokatsu, oh my God, I've drawn a blank on the word, Tokatsu. Yeah. Tokatsu. On that style of film, like it really excels. And that's the thing I think that's interesting about that, is it's not just like kind of like using this as like a little gimmick and he doesn't really understand it. I feel like he understands what makes these films work. And therefore he highlights those things, like the costumes that the Tobacco Force was wearing, I thought were perfect, like everything about them. And then like the tortoise, the rubber suit, like perfect. It looks so good. Like he understands these movies. So it's, I feel like it's not, he just didn't come up with this crazy idea to have like a super team. I think it's something that he's very much a fan of, or something that really was, something that he liked when he was younger, or something like that,
And that's what I thought too. Like he had to have some kind of frame of reference bookends to make the movie, where I got to be honest, like I didn't know anything about this movie aside from the trailer we saw. But like this arguably didn't have to be about superheroes. You know what I mean? It could have been any group, get them to this location for the movie to start. But it's funny, of all the art forms, what do they say? There's this, I forget who coined this, but to my understanding, there's like true three American art forms. It's baseball, jazz, and comic books. And there could be different arguments about
Sure. That are
any of them.
inherently American.
Right, that are inherently like American. And this had the superhero trope. I mean, they had like that same blue and yellow, group X-Men costumes that they had wore for a while. And it had it reminded me a little bit of Battle of the Planets too, like G-Force, with Seven Zark 7 with that robot. I've never seen a robot commit suicide before. Kind of funny. So it seemed, but it's also funny seeing this American art form through this lens of this absurdist French director to advance the plot.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone committed to it. Like it made sense, even to their rat Professor X out of Meet the Feebles.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I pictured MZ marking for that dude.
I was totally marking out because I was like, did Quentin go to like Peter Jackson's house and ask him for Trevor the Rat, and he just like dusted him off?
Yeah.
Because I have a feeling that's exactly how, because Feebles came out in 1989, so
it's crazy to think it
I
came
can
out
only
that long
imagine
ago.
that I can't imagine it aging that well, and but I can imagine aging it to make it look like this rat. It wouldn't surprise me if it's the same one. I don't think it is. I don't think anybody would think that it is, but you can make a good case that it could be.
Yeah, that I just rewatched that opening scene with the mom getting fucking smashed in the face with guts and blood. And she's literally like maybe a quarter mile away from where this all took place.
And she gets it dead in the face. The guts just dead in the face.
And I love so that the tobacco force are covered in blood and guts after exploding this tortoise monster. And then Norbert like cleans him off. He has like a hose that comes out of like his crotch area. They're like, is that what we think it's gonna be?
Yeah, it's essentially like picture like the Star Warriors coming out of the trash compactor in Star Wars, and R2 is like pissing on Luke kind of with like a dick.
Yeah,
like a robot. I mean, it wasn't really a dick.
And it's such a thin stream of water too that comes out.
Yeah.
It's like, and they're doing their best to bathe themselves off to rub to get the blood and the gunk off of them. But it's this little tiny stream of water that could barely do anything, really.
It did clean them though.
Yeah.
But the characters we have Tobacco Force, and they all make up different like chemicals that make is it cancer or smoking? It's like, are these all chemicals that are in cigarettes, or is it cancer? I'm not actually sure of.
Let me look at the ingredients.
Well, I don't know. Benzene's gasoline, so I think like
ammonia.
There's benzene, methanol, nicotine, mercury, and ammonia.
There's all kinds of evil shit. Carbon monoxide, literally this thing in here that was in the fucking concentration camp.
Pesticides and shit, yeah.
All right, I'm going to look up what are the chemicals in cigarettes.
And once again, can you put a fucking vitamin up in there? Can you put you got vitamin vodka now, right?
What?
But couldn't you put some citrus? Or
it's
riboflavin.
No. So actually, I did find tobacco smoke, a list here. Tobacco smoke is made up of thousands of chemicals, including at least 70 known to cause cancer. These cancer-causing chemicals are referred to as carcinogens. Some of the chemicals found in tobacco smoke include, and yes, it does list, obviously, nicotine. It lists ammonia, benzene,
frankincense and myrrh.
No. Doesn't list. Let's see. So we have nicotine. It doesn't list. So the thing I'm looking at doesn't list mercury or methanol, but I'm guessing that in some of these other chemicals that it's made up of those. So yeah, so I think these are just chemicals that make up cigarette smoke, and therefore a direct hit of all 5 chemicals gives the enemy cancer. It's outrageous. So yeah, so that's sort of like the thing, and they are successful in defeating this turtle monster, but Mercury is having trouble, like, I guess getting up his focus, because they talk about you need to focus better. So as a team, they're not functioning to their optimum level, and so their leader, who I think they mentioned him as chef and not chief. Do you guys like?
Well, I think that's just the pronunciation.
Okay. Oh, okay. In the on IMDb, he's listed as Chef Didier, but in the movie, I think it says chief. So I mean, chief makes more sense, and that's what I thought it was. But when I was looking at IMDb, I was like, wait, is it chief or is it chef? I think chief makes a lot more sense. So they have the chief, who is basically like their Nick Fury kind of deal.
Wait, the guy with the gray hair?
No, the rat.
Rat.
The rat. Okay. See, here's the thing. Like, Chief is actually the leader of the Doom Patrol, and the bald guy who's in a wheelchair. So,
yeah.
Like, did they call him Chief? Yeah, I think Chef would probably.
No, it was Chief. It was Chief. I think IMDb just fucked up on this.
But yeah, he's like the Professor X, the Nick Fury, the Zordon, if you will, from Power Rangers. I think that was a thing. Like,
so he's not necessarily the leader. He's their like organizer kind of deal.
Yeah, I mean, so I think the gray-haired guy was the field commander, but I think he was the leader of the outfit.
Yep. So anyways, he tells them that they have to work on their team chemistry, and they're getting sent to a retreat. They have to go because Mercury is like, oh, I got to go see my kids. And he's like, nope, like, you're going to do this. And so they're sent to this retreat, and it's fucking gorgeous, right? Like, they're like, we want to live here. It's like a secret base. They have like a really nice looking place, and then there's like a little pantry, and you open it up and there's a woman in there.
Oh yeah. That was fucking weird. That was very European. That, like, the bubble they had when they go down to the location.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah, that was a little fucked up. And they can get you whatever you want to order. It's like your window to a cafeteria.
Except sleeping pills. So, yeah, so they get sent to this, and the thing that's like, it's almost like a little, I wouldn't say bait and switch, because that typically has a negative connotation that, you promised one thing and you got something else. So in a way, they start off with this, and then they go to the retreat, and then that's pretty much most of the movie after that is them sharing stories at this retreat.
So this is where it changed a little bit for me.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead. And not to play, armchair director, or this is what I wanted. I guess it just changed. Okay, I get everything. I get everything that's going on. And then it became almost a anthology movie.
Mm-hmm.
Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not what I expected in the moment.
Well, you wouldn't be the only one to think that, because that's what I felt too. But I'm not going to say that I'm not going to poo-poo on it.
You're just gonna poop.
I'm not going to poo-poo on this.
Like the opening 10 minutes of this film, okay. You get that, Ultraman, what is it, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, put up to a really gory level, and then all of a sudden it's not that anymore. It changes, and like you said, you get this anthology where you get the tobacco force surrounding themselves with a forest fire, a campfire, and they're telling scary stories to one another. Which, granted, it's a complete dive. It's completely off track of what you were expecting, and in a way, it kind of works because these are people that are trying to recommunicate with each other. They got to try and reassemble themselves so they can be cohesive as one unit. And this is probably something that they've never had to do before. So they're, I guess, in a way, how I looked at it is that they're kind of new at it. So the best way that they know how is by telling scary stories to each other. And some of this, and the stories that they tell are pretty good too, I got to say. They're also violent, interesting. Let's see, how many stories were told? Like two stories, I think, right? Or three?
Nope. 3, I think. There was the one with the mask, right? The helmet.
The truth helmet. Yeah.
There was the short one that the little girl told.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then the barracuda.
Which was I got to tell you, the one that the barracuda tells. You know what? I'm a gore hound. You know me. I've seen everything. I've never seen anything like this in the story that the barracuda says. Because there's a scene in there that just repulses me. I just felt sick to my stomach watching it.
You know what? I wonder if it was the same scene. I don't feel that ever. And I actually felt, was it the vomiting scene?
No.
Oh, okay. Because I actually watched the vomiting scene. I'm like, this is actually making me like viscerally affected by this. I don't know why. Because it was a fucking bucket vomiting. But that's the scene. That's the scene that had me fucking rolling. With
the puking?
No, not the puking. When the dude is stuck and she's trying to reverse. Just how absurd this is. It's not like, oh, well, okay, like, let's give it a shot. It's like, oops. I kind of don't even want to say because it's so absurd.
No, that was funny. But I'm talking about the bucket. And just what was with that bucket. It made me sick to my stomach. It really did. I haven't felt nauseous like that in a long time.
It's off-putting. It's very off-putting.
It is. It's so out of left field. Yet it's right in line with the tone of this film. But it's nauseating to look at. But you can't look away. The way they pulled it off is really, really kind of neat, actually. Even though there is a little bit of CGI involved, it's repulsive. I just like, I'm looking at it, And I'm just like getting sick from looking at that bucket. It just made me want to puke.
Can't believe this fucking bucket. And the dude, the reaction. I'm fine.
okay.
Yeah.
Don't fucking tell me you're okay.
And how fucking like sweet it got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it feels warm having you hold me close to you. Wait, Evil Corny says Wolfie Shredder scene gave me hiccups. I could not fucking take that. I was laughing my ass off during the fucking Shredder scene or whatever that thing is. It was so absurd that I just couldn't. All I could do was laugh. And when she's trying to reverse it, I was like I just am like, you can't fucking do it. And what happened? And each time, it's not like you're trying to like, I don't know, like get something unstuck, like it's not like a Chinese finger torture or something, right? Like, and you're trying to like help someone get out of that. Oh well, let's just do it this way, or something. Someone gets their hair caught in a fan, and you're like, oh well, let's just reverse it, and yeah, okay, that's fine because it's not life or death. But when there's something like that it ends up being essentially life or death, and you're just fucking trying things out. It just was the absurdity of that.
My favorite character was the one dude who was like, yo, hey, fuck it, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I know. I ain't touching it.
Right.
This is your shit.
He's like, you're the boss.
You own this.
Evil Corey says the dog going in that bucket, though. And then and the source of that story, like that whole thing just couldn't have been any more absurd, right? Like from the beginning of the story of who's telling it till the end.
Barracuda isn't a code name. It's a fucking barracuda. Like it's a fish.
Codename Barracuda. I was losing it during that fucking scene. I can't even explain how just absolutely crazy that scene is. I could just literally talk about that scene for the rest of the show. But I thought all those stories, like even the one with the helmet, I thought was fairly interesting. Like it was kind of slow moving and plotting a little bit, but like honestly, it almost seems nice to like be able to block out the outside world and then see it for what it is, like I just thought there was something almost kind of like smart about that, like almost something kind of brilliant about the way that was presented.
Are you saying in terms of the stories they all told each other?
No, I'm talking about that one story with the helmet.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, with the woman in the helmet and her husband and their friends. Like,
yeah, got you.
It's just it's not as absurd as the Shredder, but it's an interesting story. It's almost like a deprivation chamber, and then all you have is your thoughts, and you're seeing these other people for who they are, and not, you're not like hearing external sources. It's sort of like you're in your head. You see these people, and you're like, she's like, why did I fucking marry this guy? I fucking hate him, and like his dancing makes me sick, like it's. I don't know. I just thought that was an interesting take on how to kind of approach that whole thing,
Yeah, it was called the Truth Helmet, I think, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, from like 1930, and yeah.
Yeah, they couldn't get it off her.
Right.
They tried getting it off her. They can't get it off her. They tried cutting it off, and they tried to figure out how do you cut off a helmet?
Hammering it, sawing it.
Yeah, off a head without damaging the scalp. And it goes, I don't want to hurt her brain. Well, she's got a skull that protects. Just ridiculous dialogue and just the humor coming from this dialogue is it sounds very matter of factly.
Yeah.
The way this dialogue is delivered. And it sounds like the kind of dialogue you would actually have with someone if you were in this situation for real. But it comes off as hilarious in this film.
Yeah, no, it really does. It's I can't really like, other than absurdity, like, it's hard to really characterize it in any other way, because the movie starts out a certain way and then it zigs when you think it's going to zag, and then some of those stories end up being like really bizarre and not quite the way you'd expect them to go, and then you don't really know where the movie's going to go from there.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a journey. It's if you're looking for a cohesive linear narrative, well, it is a linear narrative, I guess, in a way, but if you're looking for a cohesive story, it's, you know, you may be a little disappointed here because yeah, it's something interesting, that's for sure. So, and then we haven't even talked about the main villain. So there's like a big baddie. What was his name?
Oh, Reptile or something like that.
Yeah, that was like his like. Fuck, that was one of his like names. Yeah, I'm gonna look it up. I don't see it in here on IMDb. But yeah, there's like a big sort of like big baddie who is basically going to destroy the world. Like, that's kind of his thing. And they have X amount of days, so they're going to go away. They're away at this retreat, and then when they come back, they're going to be, you know, they need to reconnect to be able to stop this villain. So that's kind of like the idea here. But then he starts his sort of like destruction early. So they're like, oh no. Lazardin, that was his name.
Oh, okay.
And he was played by Benoit Poelvoorde. I don't know how to pronounce that, but
Commandant Lazardin.
And he was in let's see. He was in Man Bites Dog, apparently, that actor.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. Let's see, what is Benoit? I'm just looking to see. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I do recognize him without the fucking marks on his face. But yeah, so we have this main villain dude, and he's trying to destroy the planet. And so yeah, they're away for this retreat to try to, you know, reconnect and to be as strong as they can be to try to save the planet. So I'm not going to talk too much about what happens at the end. It is kind of funny how that all goes down. You know, but and then it just sort of like, it's not, I'm not going to say it's not a satisfying ending. It's an ending. You know, like,
yeah.
But it's appropriate.
Think of it like how this won't give it away, but think of like how The Sopranos ended.
Oh, I've never seen it, so I don't know.
Well, it was I've never seen it either, but I mean, I've seen the ending, but I never watched the show. But you know, pop culture kind of kept it aloft for, you know, for a good number of months. Think of the ending like that. It won't give anything away, but you'll just have to see for yourself.
I don't think that's exact like comparison, but I think maybe more of an ambiguous ending.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's open ended. It can go anywhere, but the road to get there is the journey to get there is interesting. Yeah, I don't
really
know.
is.
I mean, I think we've been talking about some of the great points of this movie, but there are some drawbacks to this film as well. I felt like that we don't really get to know enough about the characters. The tobacco forest, I feel like I wish we kind of knew a little bit more about them. Really wish we knew a little bit more about Lizard. What's his name? Lizardo.
I just had it here. Fuck. Lizardin.
I really wish we knew a lot more about him, because I hate saying this. I don't think he got enough time on screen. He really didn't. And I don't know if it has to do with having a movie under a certain time, or if it had to do with budget, or maybe cuts into the story. But I feel that the 77-minute runtime is a detriment to this film. I think if you added another 8 or 9 minutes, maybe 10 minutes of character development, this would be a much more rounded story. I feel like the first opening 10 minutes is good, is great. What we got after that, you wouldn't normally expect. And I didn't expect it. I didn't mind it either. But also at the same time, I kind of wished it was a little bit more involved. I wished there was more of a plot development. I wish there was more character development and character arcs. There's just some characters in here we just really don't know that much about, except for what they tell us. Plots to rule the world and very minor things about the tobacco forest that I kind of wish we delved into a little bit more, like the chief's rendezvous with some of the girls that he's with, and let me just sidetrack myself on. Let me just sidetrack myself a little bit on that particular character. What the hell was with the green shit that was spewing out of his mouth the entire time?
It's disgusting. They were like trying to think about like what it was they were talking about. They're like, is it grease? Is it like oil? Like what the fuck it's But all the women were fucking attracted to him. He's a rat who is like spewing some liquid from his mouth, and we see him several times with women in his bed.
Crazy.
It's so fucking bizarre. Oh man. Yeah, I thought that was ridiculous. But I loved the practical effects. I loved the way the Chief Didier looked. Like the monsters that we did see. We got to see one other monster. I think it was like a cockroach or something like that. It was very brief.
Yeah.
But that was also very cool. I would have liked to prefer maybe, instead of having a retreat, and I'm not necessarily critiquing, but instead of having a retreat, I think it would have been more interesting to have them maybe tell a story and then we go on an adventure, and then they're taking out a boss or a villain, and then they come back to like their base, and then someone else tells a story, like something like that. I feel like would have been maybe a slightly better way of going about it, as opposed to having like a good strong 10 minutes of battling a baddie and tons of gore, and then it switches to them sitting around a campfire telling stories, and then we don't really get much much more of the villain stuff from there, you know?
Yeah.
See, I would agree. Like it. You spend the first part of the picture, you, at least from what it sounds like, we were all on board with the absurdity. We all bought into this super team in this world, fighting their kaiju, you know, having cancer powers. Cool, sold. But I think it kind of grinded to a halt a little bit when it got to the anthology thing. Not that it wasn't interesting, it was why I was kind of into these characters. Like the woman who lusted for the chief, but was feeling, replaced, if you will. I liked the team. And then it kind of went in other direction where it's like, well, this didn't need to be a Power Ranger team. This could have been a Army team. This could have been an insert various groups type thing. And I would have wanted, I think, and that's where it kind of comes between armchair director, where like, this is what I would have done, but I didn't do it. This dude did it. And I don't want to like say, oh, I didn't like this movie because it's not what I would do. But I love the premise of a lot of things. But it's the execution. The dude made the movie he wanted to make. You know?
Yeah. And at this point, I mean, he's a well-established, he's no Quentin Tarantino. He's not going to be a huge box office success. But... but he has an audience and he has a niche, and there are people who like what he does. Like he has a gimmick, so to speak, and people like his films, and they'll check him out. So, I think that's the thing. He's not really trying to make a hit movie, like that's going to be big business at the box office. He's just trying to make art and do what he feels is fun. And this is something that very much it's a different take on the superhero film. Like, I like seeing something like this because, yeah, I mean, the superhero films are definitely, whether you like them or not, there are a lot of them, and whether, if you get as excited now about I don't even know what the next fucking one to come out is, but like whatever the next Marvel one is, if you're as excited about that as you were about like Avengers Assemble, like all the power to you. But for me, like I feel like that you can't really top that first one, like the first Avengers movie. Like that's the first time we've seen anything on that level, right, Raven Shadow?
Oh, 100%. I mean, the culmination, I mean, once again, I like to like comparison, but like the culmination leading up to Avengers, and then the culmination leading up to Infinity War and Endgame. That's a fucking near 10-year journey.
Right.
Well, like, what's up? I mean, what gave it away? The box office? I mean, like,
right.
I
$1
love
billion.
But then like the Shazam sequel came and went. Blue Beetle is next with the kid from Cobra Kai, and I'm not sure how that's gonna do. I'm interested. I want to see it, but it's not like Aries and I going to see every fucking movie based on a comic back in the day. We saw fucking Barbed Wire in theaters for free.
Right, because you're hard up for comic book stuff, and back then there's barely any of it,
Right. So I mean, I'm a comic. Listen to this fucking show. I'm a comic nerd, but like, even I'm like,
Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm saying is Corny says Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is up next. So, that one's coming up in a month or so. And I mean, I'm looking forward to it because I like James Gunn, and I like the previous two Guardians movies. So maybe that one's different than in the Multiverse of Madness, or whatever. Like I still haven't seen it. I haven't seen a lot of the Marvel movies since Endgame. I don't know, like it kind of was it. There's just too many. Like I just can't really get excited about them as much anymore. So I don't want to talk too much about that. But the thing is with this, it's a completely different take on something that is very popular in pop culture. And I like that he tackled this. And maybe this is something he's wanted to do for 15 years, but he couldn't really sell a superhero movie or a Takatsu movie, so maybe he was like, well, now's the time since it's bigger than ever, maybe I can get some funding to do this and I'm going to do my take on it,
Or is the gimmick it's an anthology in disguise? Like
anthology in disguise.
But like here's it's a superhero movie, but it really is Campfire Tales.
I mean, yeah, it kind of is, but yeah, it's just I feel like just the way that his mind works, Quentin Dupieux, it's just kind of like, you know what, I'm going to do this. This is a great setup, and it's going to turn into this kind of movie. And I feel like he does that on purpose because it's something that is just so absurd and unexpected. Let's do this super team superhero style movie, and I'm just going to turn it into a horror anthology sort of. That's kind of, I don't know. He's always had an element of horror in the movies that I've seen of his, but there's also this element of absurdity, surrealism sometimes. Maybe not quite surrealism. I think absurdity is probably a better way to put it. And there's an element of comedy, and that's kind of his thing. And I think that he just kind of put some things together here, mashed them up, and this is what we got. I'm glad we saw this, and I'm glad that this exists. This is definitely not for everyone. This is not the people who would see this trailer and say, "Holy shit, I have to see this fucking movie," and know nothing about the director are probably gonna hate it. And they might not make it through the entirety of the film. But if you have an idea of what you can expect from Quentin Dupieux, I know you haven't seen Rubber Raven Shadow, but you have seen Deerskin. That's one we did a few years ago. You got kind of that was maybe a little bit more straightforward, Deerskin, in terms of a narrative, but it was about a possessed jacket, right? Like if I'm remembering correctly. So it's
one size kills all.
So yeah, it's that's kind of his thing, and yeah, not everyone's gonna love this, that's for sure. But I liked the ride. I like something that's challenging and makes me like question expectations and kind of norms of what you would expect. Like it keeps you on your feet, and you can either get with it or not. Like that's kind of where it's at with this. But
yeah, I mean, it's well, the first, I keep on saying, like the first 10 minutes, man, you get what you think you're going to get from that trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Then it throws you a swerve, and a lot of people are going to tune out from that. They see that, and they see, I mean, and it isn't like they're just waiting for a buildup of the next rubber suited monster to pop up and expect a giant, big, bloody death. People are going to be expecting that. They're going to be big time disappointed.
Yeah.
I was big time disappointed. But I took it for what it was, and I said, all right, looks like we're not getting that. They're going along with a different route here. And there were times where I felt like this movie was being shot like in order, because it just felt like they were just making it on the fly. Like they didn't have a complete script, and they would just continue it as the days continued. I don't know. There was something about it that I just couldn't stomach about that swerve. But I got to understand the swerve, and I like the swerve, but I just wish there was more of it.
Yeah.
So it was a bit of a disappointment. Then I was surprised, but then I was disappointed again. So
let's see. I think we've probably tackled most of what I wanted to tackle in this. Yeah, if there's anything else that comes up, we can talk about it in the verdict. But I think we can probably head to the verdict on this one now. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Trick or treat, baby.
I wonder if people would say you're a trick or a treat.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
All right. It is verdict time. We're going to let you know whether smoking causes coughing is a trick or a treat. And I just remembered I forgot to put the poster up, but I'll put it up now during the verdict. So let's kick it off with MZ.
Yeah, you're going to love the beginning of this movie. After that, it's completely up in the air. Whether you're going to accept what they have planned for you to watch this film or not, that's completely up to you. But I will say that if you think you're going to be getting exploding monsters in rubber suits throughout the entire film, you're going to be big time disappointed. It's more clever than it is good. I will say that. It's good, but it's more clever than good. I just think the execution could have used a bit of a tuning up. We need more character development. We need more plot development. Things either just end up in a lull, or you wait forever for even the most minute change in that pattern in the film. And I will say again that I feel that the 77-minute runtime is a detriment. I think if this had an extra 9, 10 minutes, 11 minutes attached to it, you dedicate that time to character development, story development. Maybe even a couple of extra monsters would be nice. You could have a potential winner here for the year I'm talking about, because this had so much potential. But I am giving this a treat, although be it a tepid treat, because the stories are really, really good. The stories that they tell in the fire, in
the campfire,
around the campfire is really, really good. One of them made me even nauseous, and that should
that's
count.
saying something. Yeah,
that counts for something. So with that said, I will say that this is a tepid treat, almost borderline on a full-blown treat. Will this make me top 13? Probably not, he said he didn't, but you never know. It is a dark horse, but as of right now, I will say this is a tepid treat.
All right. Raven Shadow, what do you think?
On a dark horse I ride. No, I would agree with a lot of what MZ said. I can't fault this movie for it not being what I expected or did. You know what I mean? Like, I saw the trailer. I'm okay, this is some fucking Kung Fury, some Astron 6 stuff is kind of what I was expecting. And I didn't get it, but that's not what it was. I think once I got the kind of cut of its jib, I'm like, okay, I see what it's doing here. But I'm not going to blame a movie for not doing what I wanted it to do. And there's some great ideas in here, and I liked a lot of the. I guess I wanted more of the team. Like, you sold me. You kind of sold me on this absurd world already. I want more of that. But yeah, this is not for everybody. That's for sure. But I don't know who this is for, but I guess if you like it, it's for you then. But I would also agree this, and I wasn't sure how I was going to go with this movie, having seen the end of it, and this conversation helped me a little bit. But overall, I would say this is a tepid treat. Check it out, see it. Definitely worth seeing, for sure. You know, your mileage may vary, but yeah, tepid treat.
All right, and one thing I wanted to ask you, Raven Shadow, after that, like, very touching speech by Benzine, who's kind of like the de facto leader, to that kid, did you question whether or not you should smoke? Because he talked about his dad being a loser, all that. Did you have any second thoughts about smoking?
Yeah, no, I think he was lying.
But he's nobody's dad.
Well, he is now. He's not
doing the work. What? Who's nobody's dad? No, but like, yeah. I felt a little bit that I wouldn't have a cigarette.
You're like, I need to smoke after that.
Yeah, it makes me want to smoke.
Yeah. So I wanted to bring that up.
No, thank you for that. That's
good. For me, yeah, this is a tough one because it doesn't, I mean, kind of like those guys said, it doesn't necessarily deliver on, not that it's a promise, but it doesn't deliver on what you expect. Now, I don't mind when movies do that, sometimes, but I thought that this, maybe a different way of going about this would have been if they weren't going to tell, like, spooky stories in between missions. Like, if they had, instead of going on a retreat and getting away from crime fighting, if they had, when they're at their base or whatever, telling stories, and then they go out for another mission, and then they come back and tell another story, or even if they do the retreat thing and they're at the retreat, why not tell horror stories of their own, right? Like, instead of stories that they've heard, what about, in my day, back when I was part of, the cigar force or something, like whatever's like the Titan version of Tobacco Force.
Right. Like Teen Tobacco.
The Tobacco Teens.
Tobacco Titans.
The Tobacco Titans.
Yeah. But no, exactly, Wolfie. That's where it's like, take this absurd super team and have them tell, I was fighting fucking Joker one day. He tried to fucking touch my butt. You know what I mean? Or whatever the fuck.
When I was part of the Tobacco Titans, and back in the day, like, there was a serial killer, and talking about that, and maybe they take him down at the end or something like that, or maybe they don't, or maybe he kills his whole team, and that's why he joins Tobacco Force, because this villain killed his teammates, or something like that. And you could have replaced the helmet, the woman wearing the helmet, with this story, right? And kills a bunch of people. So
it could have been like a Dr. Fate type thing, where like a magic helmet.
Yeah. So I mean, I think there were some opportunities to keep it a little bit more on topic. And once again, I like the absurdity of it. I think it's interesting that someone is doing this, where it's you're taking an idea and you're just going completely following it wherever it leads. And like, there's something to be said for doing that. And it's funny, actually, on the poster itself, there's a quote. It says, "A superhero movie for idiots, one of the best films of the year. John Waters. So, I just think you can have the absurdity of it. Totally on board with that, but I feel like you could have kept it a little bit more on topic so that the people who are going to watch this based on the trailer get something that is a little bit more grounded in what they expect. So I think that's my critique as a film fan and as someone who just enjoys watching films. I didn't mind where this went. Like, for me, I didn't mind, but it's going to be very off-putting to some people because of that direction that it goes in, when you really could have probably done this a different way to keep those people on board a little bit more. So I think that there is a misstep there. But I like the characters. I like this team. I like the dynamic between them. I thought that they were fun, and the stories were just fucking crazy. Like, that Shredder story is gonna like haunt my existence, and not because it was like it definitely, like, it's weird that the part that made me like viscerally react is something that doesn't normally do that for me. Like, I don't really like hearing or seeing people vomit in the first place. I mean, that's not something that people typically enjoy, right? Like, but it doesn't make me sick. I know some people like have like a, reaction where they're like retching when they hear it or see it. And I get that. But for me, that's not the reaction I get. But in that scene with the bucket vomiting, I don't know why. I think it was because it was so absurd and what was in the bucket. And then just on top of that, how can we make it more fucking ridiculous and gross? Here you go. And it just put it over the top for me a little bit. So I'm going to remember that scene for the rest of my life. Like, I'm not going to. And how insanely ridiculous that Shredder scene was. It is the most absurd thing that I could possibly even think of in a movie. Like, there is nothing else like this. It's insane.
How did he even get in there?
He fell in.
I don't know. He was trying to push something in, I think he said. He was trying to help the things through or something.
Clearly standing in it. But no, I mean, there's some, oh man, it's fucking vomit on the ragtop.
But the end result of that is just grotesque. It is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's gross. It's gross.
Gross. Marion says, meh, I didn't like this movie. I found it lacking. Interesting premise, though. Angry Townsman says, with 2 tepid treats, is this worth a $7 rental? Marion says, no, it's not worth $3. So, as far as answering that question, I mean, I think this is one you may want to wait on because it is going to be divisive. I can't, in good consciousness, tell someone, yeah, go spend $7. You're going to love this because, as Raven Shadow said, your mileage, not that your mileage may vary, your mileage will vary. It has a great premise. It has some great scenes. It has, like I said, that Shredder scene, I am never going to forget that. Never. I'm going to think about that, like 5 years from now, if we're still doing this fucking show, I'm going to think about that scene. I'm just not going to forget it ever. And, for that alone, this movie has to be a treat for me. And I'm just going to go with a flat out treat. Now, it is not perfect. And if you're expecting, to see tokusatsu, movie with lots of men in rubber suits, you're just not going to get it. There's a little bit of that, and when it's done very well. But this does end up becoming a bit of a horror anthology, for reasons that I still don't quite understand. But if you just flow with it, if you just let it take you on its journey and you don't go in with expectations, I think it could be something that you really enjoy. So that's why I don't mind talking about the expectations, because I do feel like people will enjoy this. And and if we didn't talk about some of the things in this, like, I feel like people would just immediately write it off, because they're like, well, if it says it's going to be, like, I don't know, like, I feel like just that's setting people up to understand, hey, this is not going to be exactly what I think it's going to be, but if I know that going in, I might go along for the ride. I might be a more active participant in where they're taking me, as opposed to, being told we're going to Las Vegas and then all of a sudden we end up in Alaska, because that's kind of what this is like. Vegas, baby, Vegas.
Why is it so cold?
Yeah. Why are there Eskimos around? Marion says, I felt connected to the robot that kills itself. Yeah, we even talked about Norbert killing himself. And she said, but because it didn't have to deal with the story anymore. So, well, there you go. That's our discussion on smoking causes coughing. Your mileage will vary. We'll say that. Marion says, if I had to pay to see this movie, I'd have thrown Raven Shadow out the window. All right.
That's fucked up.
That is kind of fucked up. All right. Well, that's going to wrap up our discussion of smoking causes coughing. This was like such a perfect Raven Shadow movie. It didn't work out to be the perfect Raven Shadow movie, but, hey.
I disagree. I think it's a perfect metaphor for Raven Shadow. You think you're going to get somewhere, and you get derailed onto something completely different.
That's actually not too. It's not too far from the truth.
Kind of like dating me.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm a really good.
I'm not. You know what? Like so I think I have the movie that we're gonna do next week. Let me just check one thing. I just want to see if there's another movie that I was gonna do, but I don't think it's on VOD yet. So let me just check this real quick. If not, I know which one we're gonna go with. Let's see. Where to watch? Is it available yet? Because I wasn't sure if this movie was gonna hit VOD or not, because it did actually get a theatrical release. All right, that's not it. All right, well, I think this one is not out yet. I think it's only theatrical. So I think what we'll do is one that we had sort of on the list, and it was actually mentioned earlier. I think we're going to go with that because MZ mentioned it earlier, and it sounds like a crazy fucking movie. So, MZ, what was the movie you brought up in the intro?
Pause.
What?
Pause.
No, you in the intro before we started the show.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, no, that's it. Holy shit.
Holy shit, yeah.
So we're going to do holy shit.
With Reverend Scott?
We should see if Reverend Scott's available. We'll do holy shit with Reverend Scott.
That'd be fucking awesome. That'd be the shit.
All right, so this one was sort of on my radar, but I wasn't quite sure because I actually had another film that I wanted to do for this week, but it hasn't been released on VOD yet. I think it's still in limited theatrical, which means it'll probably hit VOD soon. But So the movie, holy shit, with Reverend Scott. It is available on Screambox. So let's see where I had a tab open for this movie. Where did it go?
You can't print that.
Where the fuck did it go? Oh, here it is. Okay. Holy shit with Reverend Scott. So it is on Screambox. If you guys don't have Screambox, you can get, I think there's a free trial, or you can get it relatively inexpensive. I think it might be the cost of a VOD rental for a whole month of Screambox. So the film is 90 minutes. It is the original name is Akdu Scheiß.
Shit.
Scheiße. Akdu Scheiße. It is written and directed by Lucas Rinker, and the synopsis: Architect Frank wakes up from unconsciousness, squashed in a porta potty. But it gets worse. In order not to be blown up during the imminent demolition, Frank must make his way out of his blue grave in 1 hour. A race against time.
Up it.
So it's a movie about a dude stuck in a porta potty.
Escape from the porta potty.
So MZ's responsible if it doesn't work out.
I think Mary and I are gonna watch that on Easter. You go to my parents' house.
Watch it with your parents. There's there's a bunny in it. I'm watching the trailers playing on Screambox, and a bunny just appeared. So as you said, Easter.
Al likes bunnies. All right, good.
So yeah, there you go. We'll do holy shit. You can't print that.
You can't print that. You can't have that poster.
It's Raven Shadow. I'm sorry. I should have thought of this earlier, but it's a German film.
I kind of got that with the Osterschnacht, you were saying.
Oh God, here we go.
Du Scheiße.
Du hast. Yeah. Ich stein Berliner. Wie geht's in der Halle morgen? Der Wachs ist los. Der Hund.
What?
I said, how are you this morning?
Oh, okay.
Wie geht's? All
right, so yeah, we're gonna do that next week. Holy shit! It is available on Screambox. I think you can also probably get it on VOD as well.
It's a German scat film.
I guess technically you could say that.
German Scheiße. That's fine. What could possibly go wrong?
Or you can rent it actually. So if you don't want to do Screambox, you can rent it for $4.99, or you can just get a Screambox subscription, which is $4.99. So fuck, I might as well just get the fucking Screambox subscription for the month, and then you have access to all the stuff on there. So
yeah.
All right. So holy shit, next week should be an interesting one. I think, you know what, like, yeah, I think I have a guest that I've been talking to about coming on the show that this might be appropriate. So we'll see if that materializes. All right, we have a voice message. I think it's just the one. At least we have one for now. So let's go ahead and get this all queued up. All right, we're going to hear from Arkham Josh, and we're going to see what our boy has to say. Get this all right. So let's hear from Arkham Josh.
Hey, Trick or Treat Radio guys, it's Arkham Josh here, just calling in with my thoughts on the last couple of weeks' films. Last week was Cocaine Bear. I caught this, Steph and I caught this when it came out in the theaters a few weeks back, and there's nothing I can say about this that you guys didn't say last week. This is just an incredibly fun, incredibly well-made, and entertaining piece of film. It's silly, it's gory, it's got a lot of heart. It's a treat and a recommend. I'm hoping this maybe kickstarts something when we start getting some more of these kind of fun, decently budgeted films in the theaters, because it was definitely a lot of fun to see in the theater. So a treat and a recommend for Cocaine Bear. This week's film, Smoking Causes Coughing by Quentin Dupieux. I'm a big fan of his previous work, and this film did not disappoint, but I don't think it's quite as good as some of the previous stuff. Rubber and Deerskin were both, they were highly focused in a way where he had seemed to have a very specific idea. This one seems to be a little bit all over the place because it takes on an almost anthology aspect with all the storytelling, which I completely did not expect from the trailers, but was pleasantly surprised by. So it's quirky characters, quirky stories, and just a lot of kind of weird for the sake of weird, I guess you'd say. And it's a great overall package, some interesting characters, good story, some funny gags. So I'm going to say Smoking Causes Coughing is another treat and a recommend. So can't wait to hear what you guys think about it, and hopefully I'll see you guys soon, all right? Bye.
All right, Josh. Always good to hear from you, buddy, and glad you dug both films. So there you go. I just happened to see the director of Holy Shit is... Oh, you talked about this. Never mind. Pause. Okay, I just saw I saw the title of it. I saw the poster, and I was like, wait a second, I got to talk about this, but you had already mentioned that. So, killer polar bear movie. There you go. So let me just double check to make sure we didn't get any additional voicemail. And that's it. We just got the one this week. Let me check all the chat rooms. All right. Well, I think we're pretty much clear. Corny says, "Holy shit, trailer looks good." So yeah, so we'll be checking that out next week. Should be fun. All right. I think we're clear here. You guys have anything else you wanted to mention or get off your chests?
Not really.
No? All right. Well, I think we'll probably wrap it up then. So let's go around and say our goodbyes, starting with Monster Zero.
Arrivederci, douchebags.
And Raven Shadow.
The fast love hard survive with the mask on.
So one question about that, Raven Shadow. Now that people are maybe getting away from wearing N95 masks and stuff like that, now we're just going to transition to like a lucha mask or like a domino mask or something.
I was thinking, Johnny. Once again, you're like fucking
piercing
my brain right now. I was thinking that too, but like, I mean, I can go back to the original quote, but I get yelled at a lot for that. But I still, for the most part, I still wear my mask out in public. Like, I still do. I both work jobs. You know what I mean? Like, at least if I can like Target. At least I'm not I wear it when I go to Target too. But like, I still, when I don't wear it, at least I can know where I can like, okay, if something goes wrong, this is where I was not wearing my mask. But I'm still masked up.
Yeah, I usually am when I go out. I actually had a doctor's appointment like 2 weeks ago, and there was like nobody in the office. There was like a couple of people. I'm like, you know what? Like, here, COVID is, at least in Maryland. I don't know what it's like in Maine or Massachusetts right now, but it's like very low. I think you are more apt to catch the flu than COVID right now. Yeah. So, kind of just. I figured that would be like my let me just try to go somewhere without it on. Also, as my beard gets longer, it really a mask like really fucks it up. Get this like like fucking waffle sort of thing in it. But well, anyway, so I was just tried that out, and I went into Target like the next day, and I'm like, you know what, like there's Target's fucking mobbed, and like there's tons of families, and like I felt better because there's a lot of people fucking coughing while I was in there too. So it's what's that, MZ?
No, I'm just laughing at you.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously it's up to everyone to make their own decision. Whatever makes them feel most comfortable. But COVID's certainly not gone, but the chances of catching it are a lot less right now. So hopefully it stays that way, because I don't want to go back to being fucking like scared to go anywhere.
Oh yeah, totally. So right, I mean, I'm getting there, but I still, at least if I'm hanging out with people who I know are vaxxed, so at least I can I've gone to some.
Yeah, there's some level of protection in place.
Right.
Yeah.
Or at least be like, okay, it was this day, not like a random, package store visit. At least I can triangulate where something may have occurred. And you know what? I don't want to fucking die Walking Dead season 8. You know what I mean? Like, I want to keep going.
I didn't make it that far.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Like, I'm just trying to.
All right. Well, you get off on a little tangent. MZ's gonna get pissed. So, well, that's gonna do it. Wait, did he freeze or?
No, he has fucking COVID again.
He does?
Probably.
No.
You're a 5-time champion?
5-time COVID champion. MZ froze. So, there we go. Well, it's time to end anyway. So, I think that's all I was going to say. So, all right, cool. We're done. And as I mentioned, next week, we're going to be checking out Holy Shit, German movie, and it is on Screambox, or you can you can rent it via VOD. But you know what? It's the same fucking price, so might as well just get Screambox for a month, and then you can check out other stuff on there. There's a lot of good stuff on Screambox. So give that a look. Come back next week. Hang out with us. And if you guys ever want to send in a voice message, podcast@trickortreatradio.com. And yeah, that's going to do it. We will see you guys next week.